air system are used now only probably in the commercial and not in the residential. And then we are more used with the ironic in general, are efficient in any case. We need to be efficient in Italy and in Europe mainly because we don't have we have a lot of the alternative solutions. I thought of geothermal exchangers and connected with the radiant system has been winning for heating and cooling too. And geothermal in general, the solar panels, and something that has been all life I spent about that. And I don't know, I probably in these countries start now to have more and more in the distribution.
Well, it's the only system that's allowed, but I've been saying that for about 30 years now, and there's still other systems that are out there. But the people that are in this organization realize the potential behind these systems. We'll continue to promote them, but I think we're seeing a lot of pressure from the variable rent flow manufacturers trying for pretty much all the HVAC markets in the world, and it's a tough battle. People have got a lot of money for marketing, and all of their money selling refrigerators and appliances, and I don't know. It's not, but we're willing to fight.
Yes, we have to say too many connections here, and I don't know if it depends more from the that people don't know enough about hydronics, then they prefer to go to the air system that seems to be quicker installed, easy, People know that they put these big furnaces in the basement and they spread amount of energy all on the space. And so in any case, they know also that, for example, to some very big houses here in the Silicon Valley, it has to be.
Yeah. More this whole, but my phone to silence. We have one of our attendees is actually a manufacturer's rep for Calefi, and I'm going to bring him up and ask him if he can see everything.
Or
can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can.
Yeah, I can hear just fine.
Yeah. See the screen okay?
I can, thanks.
Great.
I'll tell you in the screen there with the plants and the clouds and stuff. Very the Calefi.
Where are you from, Bob?
Here in Missouri, but I work for Calefi, Italy, our parent company.
I know very well Calefi.
Yeah.
Yes, I have friends that work for Calefi, for company that works for Calefi too. Yeah.
Interesting, Mark, your conversation that you were just talking about, forced air versus hydronics. One of our regional reps back east was meeting with one of the major wholesalers in the U.S., one of the big names that you'd recognize, and they're talking about numbers for the year. And they're to do about $5 million in hydronic sales and stuff like that. They had two separate forced air companies that were in the meeting too. They're on track to do $500 million each in sales with the same company. So there's an idea of what we're up against in the U.S. with hydronics. So it's a huge number.
Yeah, we was spoken with Mark about the possibility to enlarge the market of ticket. My surprise was not yet done. Say, for me, the only system have sense to be installed because it's
Yeah.
the rational way to distribute the energy. It's the only way to distribute the energy.
Yeah.
And have efficiency to that, but it's a big market. There are a lot of interest, lobbyists, and it's hard to introduce something new. Also, probably the skills and the knowledge of the people are not enough to consideration something that.
Well, right now, the low energy costs. People aren't concerned about what it costs to heat and cool their buildings when energy is given away here in the U.S. In fact, we've got so much we're trying to, and they're shutting down the oil wells because there's such a glut. So, it's the last thing on people's mind is a more efficient heating or cooling system. They say, just don't think about that until the prices go up again. And certainly, the administration that's in power has a lot to do with it. If renewables are continued to be pushed as far as, solar thermal and pumps that work at low operating temperatures and stuff like that, that brings hydronics back into the picture pretty big time, because it's the only way you're going to get there is with a water-based system. When you look at those other technologies, you're not going to, be blowing.
Yeah, one aspect of the presentation today is also to us in the aspect of the radiant system that is more in the sense of comfort, the quietness, and we want to focus more in that, because if we focus only in the aspects of the cost of the energy, really, I live now in California. The income is high. People spend millions about houses. Then I don't think they take care of so much of their bill. They care more about the health of the home. They care about the comfort, the smart, the coolest way to have the freedom of the success. These kind of things. They are not so interested to the bill now.
Yeah. You're from in Italy.
I'm quite in Treviso, close to Venice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very close to. There are many manufacturers there of boilers and there's heat pumps. Yeah, it's a very rich area about these AC technologies, radiant systems in general. I work at for years.
Yeah, lived in Borgo Monero near Caleffi there for a year and learned how to speak Italian.
I know Borgo Monero. Hey, yeah.
It's great.
Also Giacomini. Yeah, also Giacomini.
Right on the lake there, Lago Orta.
Yeah. They own the castle in the island in front of their factory. It's fantastic. I've been there a couple of times, and it's a very nice place to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, just about 5 minutes after, so I think it's time to get this rolling. And Bob, if you mind, mute your microphone. If you have something to say during the presentation, feel free to chime in.
Okay.
I'm having you present. So I'll go ahead and start the show.
Yes, good.
From the Radiant Professionals Alliance, welcome to Talk, the presentation of the Radiant Professionals Alliance. I am your host, Mark Etherton. I'm the director of the RPA. I've been a member for the last 20 years. I'm also a contributing editor of Contractor Magazine, where I have a column called From Where I Sit. I've been an educator for 39 years. I am a former expert witness and still a current licensed master plumber here in the state of Colorado. Quickly want to the rules of the road. If you would like to speak to us, please use headphones and a microphone boom mic if possible. Mute your mic to avoid feedback and background noises. And if you have a question, throw it into the Q&A box and I will note it. If you would mind, we'd like to hold all of our questions regarding the presentation until afterwards. And if them all at once, we'll have a record of what your question was so that we can go back through and read them. And I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Here's a quick picture of one of the early alternatives to radiant floors that I helped develop and deploy. This was a house that we did for Habitat for Humanity project It's about 22 years old now. It was a very interesting project. It was funded by the Department of Energy through the National Renewables Energies Laboratory, who monitored operation of the building for 2 years and determined that it was one of the most efficient buildings in the state of Colorado. The ceiling project that I have up in the mountains, which is extremely comfortable. I love my radiant ceilings. I love my radiant floors. I love my radiant walls. I love radiant. Here's one of 2 commercials that you will see during this presentation. We would love for you to join the Radiant Professionals Alliance. Information at radiantprofessionalsalliance.org. We also have a URL, which is radiantpros.org. And get in there, kick around tires, take it for a spin, see what we've got up there. A worthwhile organization. Most of our members are contractors. We also have a lot of manufacturers. We have wholesalers, distributors, just really interested people. And I'll have the common goal of trying to let the world realize that hydronics is the most comfortable and most efficient system in the world. I'll quickly go have monthly guests that we bring in and interview on different types of systems. Immediate following session, if you have a question that you would like to bring forward to the experts that we have here, we have an open Q&A session. And then all of our actual recordings are archived for members only for review at a later date. So if you were unfortunate, stuck on a job and couldn't make it to the show, as a member, you're always allowed to go back in and take a look at the after the fact in the archives through the RPA website. Shows are meant to be fun, educational, and entertaining. You've got to submit a guest. Submit an interviewee to me, Mark Etherton at iatmo.org, and I will contact them. We're currently booked through February 2017. Go to news that you can use. The SSE Standard 19210 Hydronic Certification Training will be in Rhode Island on 17th, 18th, and the 19th. As the new course that we've been working hard to get together, it has been through one cycle of train-the-trainers. Was received as very comprehensive. I would have to say that it's probably the most comprehensive training program on hydronics in the States at this point in time. Boeing VAX Take-Home HVAC Solutions is going to be hosting an advanced soup-to-nut variable speed program with John Barba and his staff, and that will be October 20th and 21st at the Take Training Facility there in Cranston, Rhode Island. The Expo is coming up January 30th, 31st, and February 1st. It will be in Las Vegas this year. We have 5 classes that we have built to make presentations on all kinds of different topics. One of them will be on radiant cooling, actually case studies of radiant cooling that have been done for this that still have that question in their mind about whether or not this is a viable technology. And then we have also the RPA annual meeting and all of the stuff that comes along with that, including our social events, which will be a part of the HR. Just notice that it's got 15 in Chicago still on there. It will be 17 in Las Vegas. More news you can use. The RPA's University Fall courses are up. The URLs there. If you go to the RPA website and Google RPA University, it will take you to the Heat Spring site, and you can see all of the courses that we have up there. Real quick here, I work with it. The graph illustrations used in this webinar are presented for educational purposes only. Our IAPMO does not endorse or recommend the vendor or product depicted, nor any product. IAPMO makes no representations, warranties, or guarantees as to and assumes no responsibility for the products depicted, and RPMO expressly disclaims all liability for damages of any kind arising out of the use or performance of the vendor's products or services depicted. Our guest is Dominic Feo with Ahhm and Ceilings, and has 20 years of experience in the radiant field, primarily over in the European markets. And you are now in control, and there it lies. So thank you very much for doing this, and tell us what you know.
thank you, Mark, to give me this opportunity to present something that someone will already know, someone maybe it's not exactly what is that to say. I'm from a large experience in Europe where I found my company in the late 90s, more than 10 years in radiant reading. Then the company, because I thought that was possible to produce cooling also with radiant systems. After 11 years of experience, I sold my company at large multinationality. The name is Zender Group. They sold my company. I worked for them for 4 years, introducing heating and cooling in many countries where they have processes. And at the end of this experience, I to a friend here in California and found a new company and introducing heating cooling by things because the best, in my opinion, in many of people that I met, opinion that the best solution to find energy saving, healthy, and smart products to be also installed by the professionals. We found Ahhm systems. Ahhm is not only radiant heating and cooling, it's not only radiant ceilings. It's something that is introduced in this market in the last years and in a net zero trend in the construction. It's a very new trend in the US. It's passive house, efficient homes, and new buildings go in that direction. And we are fit exactly this direction. Heating and cooling is exactly what the new constructions require to meet the needs of our passive or near zero trend construction. We are now very adapters, but adapters will be the people that will influence the majority of the market that will be interested in new systems. And that means that we can have a good solution for this kind of new construction. Seems to be very tight. The problem is that when you have an insulated building, very tight building, you have some not positive effect, especially during an overheating to the high level of the insulation that we have. Then we can meet this overheating in this kind of construction using temporary shading devices, using nighttime ventilation during summer. But you need that outside. We have very low temperature during night, very humidity outside. But in any case, we have internal loads. That seems to be obviously the most important part of the load. Loads means our equipment, lights, cooling. Then we can have not enough ventilation to meet all the of heat producers. The pen obviously is actually an active cooling, something that is able to absorb extra heat produced, make in the same time that it's produced. For that reason, we may go to understand what means radiant cooling. Radiant is the next slide, but I want to start from radiant cooling. Radiant cooling is something that takes advantage of the perception of the temperature. The perceived temperature is the most important for when we must talk about the radiant systems. Radiance make you uncomfortable because you perceive a temperature that is not exactly the actual temperature of the air. Temperature of the air in cooling is higher than your perception because the surface temperature around you that exceeds heat with the active surface that we use. Exactly a perceived temperature that is lower than the air temperature. In essence, obviously, this is exactly different because we perceive a temperature when the temperature needs to be lower than we perceive a surface temperature, higher than we perceive. We have a big gap between perceived temperature and air temperature. And also, the same principle for radiation heating, and I think all of you know that. Radiation is also something that takes advantage of the perception of the temperature that we have to the surface temperature and the air temperature. Situation, what means that? What exactly produces something that gives us a second? That seems that doesn't work. We can be in the comfort zone and also at different temperature that we really have in the space. Our perception of comfort is mainly around 77 Fahrenheit at 50%. So the combination of these two values give us a sensation and the feeling of comfort. Not more than 50 is more interesting to understand what it means. The gram per kilogram is the absolute humidity that have the quantity of moisture that we have in our volume. Then we need to control it the best exactly that, because we know that we could be comfortable with high temperature and lower humidity rate, and differently to be not comfortable at low temperature but high humidity level. Then what is interesting for us is to control and maintain control the moisture gram per kilogram, the quantity of the moisture that we have in our volume. In any case, we are around 77, 75, 50% humidity. This is exactly what we want to produce when we want to go in a cooling solution. Radiation makes part of advantages. We use or increase the thermostat settings. We can increase our thermostat setting. Then we can also reduce the air infiltration because we could different quantity of the energy that we can use because we are in a small delta T between the indoor side and the outside. This combination of a difference of temperature can give us a reduction in heat on 10-25%. Oh, this is not new for you. The boiler heat pumps, it's more and more efficient using radiation systems because we are as level of energy. We can use low temperature of the water. During summer, we can use higher temperature of the water. It's also for the Radiant Panel Association that water circulates absolutely tremendously more efficient than working with air. In this case, we can have efficiency also in the electric parts, like the fans, like the pumps, but they are all composite that all attend and understand well, and they are absolutely prepared. Then, us is to say, yes, we have a smaller delta T. We can cover the delta T between inside and outside. Then we have low transmission, loss gains, dilation, loss or gains. This is in the high efficiency of the system, again, conventional air systems. In radar, but I also under again lower water temperature. Very interesting for us to use also alternative alternative to the boiler. That could be the heat pumps, could be the solar panels, could be the exchange with the bouncers, and use also a lower insulation of the parts that are rooted in our building. Then more efficient. That we understand also one of the deep big topics of the is that if it works well in heating, and we understand that radiant by ceiling is more than 88% of the energy is transferred by. Then we radiate the other surfaces, working that in combination with that, and then we warm up any surface that is inside the same room, the same thing that we have a 360 degrees quite uniform temperature in any surface that we can radiate. For then we have also to have a combination between system and a base system that makes more efficient also the heat exchange with the active surface. We use for radiant heating or cooling any surface that we have in our building. Obviously, and with the next slide is why buildings are more efficient than radiant floors. Radiant are working better in sealed buildings. This for to be aided with the ventilation system too. And we'll see also in next slide there. And also for reasons that it's very important and very efficient when we talk about direct solar radiation. We understand, yes, okay, Mr. Dominic, you asking us to take advantage of radiant heating and radiant cooling, but what is the best surface? Floor or wall? Okay, I prepared this table with the advantages with the people. Ceiling have no contact. Floor, wall, yes. Some people think about the contact is one of the biggest bad of the floor. In my opinion, could be or not. It is not interesting, but we normally maintain a lower temperature. But when we want to go more efficiently, we can also increase the surface temperature. This is possible only with the surface that you don't touch. Of the radiant ceilings is the response time that is less than 30 minutes. Unfortunately, the pro system has a response in more than 3 hours normally, and it's difficult to be switched quickly from heating and cooling as do with the ceiling. We have no limit with ceiling with the furniture that can have also with the floor and the wall. It is also the ceiling system for the cooling. And a very interesting issue is that the ceiling is in performance. That thing that can certify how is the house in the condition that you're working. This is not possible to be done with the floor system because it's depending from the certifier, from the third part of your installation. And then we see, okay, we can use indifferently all the surfaces that we have. With ceiling, we can use wall, we can use floor. What we want to show you today is the ClimaBond panel. ClimaBond technology is exactly what I am introducing in the last year in US is this panel as you can see is this aluminum pan that is bonded. We produce some water distribution. In this case, the water distribution that we can fill each of this panel with some platings, with some insulation on the top. Then we can use this panel between the joists and with the drywall. This is a product that produces a very efficient distribute the temperature on the surface and has to be radiance system. We can use a lot this the initial can use at the battery energy usage. We can obviously have in addition all the radiance system. It means no noise, no dilatation, no low temperatures, no I can say no. Then we have all a series of advantages that could be able to be addressed. That product, it's an invisible system. It's possible to be installed in the floor if you want. 100% recyclable, and or in the need the panel. The panel is exactly distribution of channel that we fill where we water and glycol. Really, it's a mixing that prevent any kind of frozen, any kind of corrosion, and it's a solution that you can have your new ceiling with an insulator on the top. About the installation, the panel is very light. Panel is something like I can say low than a cup could be 4 pounds, something like that. And once that you have identified with your design where you need to install the panel and screw the panels to the frame, that you can fix the panel, and of the panel we have a stick heat transfer film that we finish the installation before to apply the drywall. That we have a perfect, I can say, a perfect contact between the radiant ceiling and the drywall. Right. We can also match the panel with some ceilings like 2x2 drop-it ceiling. These are a performance solution for commercial, and this has to be, I say, super few minutes to have heating, few minutes to feel cooling. Then it's a quick response product. This kind of panel distribution that we have in one house here in US, you can see all the panels, the main line distribution, plastic pipe is pipe that routed until the manifold. The manifold I have, and each have the actuator loop, and we can switch on off each room. There are some installations that are more interesting, like probably the slide after, but this I can see graph of installation. It means the heat pump energy producer that goes to hydraulic distribution, mixing, and pump distribution that goes to the manifold to the panels. I introduce also the dehumidification. It's something that I have slides that we can talk a little bit. This is what I want to show you. That means you can have also heating, cooling room by room, maybe hotel rooms or where it's important to room by room which kind of temperature we like. We like heating, we like cooling, and then our room sensor we can switch off a flight distribution that gives us the required water temperature that flows in the panels to have a emission of the radiant ceiling. This is able to be done with the radiant floor, obviously. And so this is a reaction, for example, the radiant in the ceiling, and we talk about with heating, the clean panels against the fan coils unit. You can see the red one is the first temperature, the blue one is the all fan coils units have more air. Your perception is lower in terms of perceived temperature. This is the more interesting, especially talk about cooling, that the perception of the temperature is lower, and also the air still remains a little bit here. And I guess the fine is where the air temperature drops, but your perception of temperature is still there. This is because you have the effect of the surface that you have in the room, or the walls, or the glass building, or the floors, the furniture, all its higher temperature than you. Then what we really do is to solely the radiant ceilings, but also a complete control of point. Dew point is a big issue. It's the really first issue that we solved in the very beginning of our adventure in the 1998. It means can we drop the surface temperature without to have a very smart control to avoid condensation. Yes, now it's possible to be done because we have sensors that detecting temperature and humidity. Then calculating the dew point, we can manage the water mixing valve, and we can take control of the surface temperature because we know that the of the or the metal that we have. And in that way, we can control the water that flows in the panel, and then the water can control the surface temperature, avoiding any kind of in without big issue. Also, if you open a window, we feel that difference, feel that an increase in terms of absolute humidity. We act to moderate water temperature until a maximum level possible, and then we switch off. This is a very big issue when we talk about control. And this is exactly the heart of the system. Heart of the system is the control. Without a control, you can do radiant cooling, absolutely. There are many tricky systems that modify the flow of water, modifies or feed water in inlet water in the circuit, but they're not really affordable systems. The more affordable one is a system that have a specific and dedicated control. We have touch screen room sensor dew point control programs, and also all the system is managed by a control, an app in your devices to manage your offices from remote. And use also what means the comfort zone. Comfort zone is not only heating and cooling, it's not only temperature. It's a relation with the quality of the air, with the new fresh air, humidity control, hygiene. These are very important things. And then we introduce ventilation and dehumidification. And that working to maintain the quality of the air are very important in city buildings, as are important the dehumidifiers, means that makes all the level of the humidity that we have in our space, dropping the humidity, dropping the moisture, and staying the correct air and air humidity that flows into the building. It means we have a ventilation machine that is in contact with the external, in connection with the external outdoor air, and we need exchange, the best that have very high efficiency, and our dehumidifier that makes control all the space that we have in our building. All the devices are web or connected with our controls. Part is also that you can see that system only for residential, but we have a very large amount of residential solution. The largest application of radiant cooling in Europe has been in hospitals and senior residents and something like that, and offices, mostly in healthcare. But that also for hotels, offices, whatever. That is not only residential solution. The references, if someone want to contact me, want to put me some product they have, if they need some advices, I'm able to support anyone, because we like that these iconic systems can win the battle and to find with this very nothing and not so pleasant systems that are their systems in this country if possible. Thank you. If someone would like to ask something, I'm open to give all the answer.
Thank you, Domenico. That was an excellent presentation. It's quite good.
I don't think so, but okay. Thank you.
It's better than some people that I've had the opportunity to be able to speak with that speak English.
Okay.
I do have questions for you. I noticed that, let me take us back in the slides here real quick. We have this system that you're using here. I guess I'll back up to myself so that people can see what's going on my screen.
Yes.
Silly, and they won't understand what I'm looking at. Picture now of the dehumidifier, the ventilation and dehumidification. Yes. How long each one of these units service?
In the sense of dimensions?
Yeah, volume-wise, if you've got a 10-foot ceiling, how an area would each one of these be capable of handling?
Dehumidifier is very easy. It's a ceiling mounted. You can drop a little bit from the sink. It's around 3 feet, 2 feet, 1 feet wide, and it's very easy installed. It don't take much space when you want to put up the ceiling. One is a big machine, a little bit more bigger, 1 feet by 3 feet by 2 feet, is quite more larger. And in this in this slide, I show one specific product that is the product that used more in installation, but there are many heat exchangers that could be used. Obviously, each one of these heat exchangers have a range of efficiency. There are very efficient products that are FASI certified, others are not certified, and then maybe have a low efficiency, maybe lower than 80%. In that case, you have more than 90%, because when you're working with the ventilation, the efficiency of the product, it's very important. That's towards 7. In fact, it's something that only working in order to maintain your humidity comfort conditions and act by the control that detecting the humidity a little bit higher than your set value, and then start inside to concentrate the air and the humidity that go through and drain the water, and then you can more dry that flows in your duct. This is very interesting in some areas of this country where the outside humidity is quite.
How many cubic feet will it dry?
We have the dehumidifiers are between 100 to 400 cubic CFM.
Okay.
CFM.
And so wherever you've got a dehumidifier, there's a need for a plumbing source drain to get rid of the condensate that's being produced.
Yes. Not these are installed in some cells. This is where you have able to drain and makes the connection with the water somewhere not so difficult to be installed.
Sure. No question that comes with radiant cooling is, do you also offer the non-permeable pipe insulation that's necessary to avoid the condensation production on the supply and return routes?
Yes, and we are of the idea to supply the cold system. We want to apply something that could be safe for the people that working properly and that maintain the premises that we do. I say we supply the panels, we supply the plastic pipes, we supply insulation of the pipes, we supply the fittings, the metal, and supply also the hydronic to supply correctly to the panels. We supply the humidifier, we supply the control. The people must take care about the heat pump, must take out the main distribution water, no more. They would like to share with the people the confidence in a certified system that's working since many years, and that gives them the safety to use something that has been already checked and working in any situation that they could have.
It's basically a complete component system design type of application. So I also noticed in the design here that black sections, and the highlighter lit up here, that these is right. Get the to work. There we go. This here. It looks like a roll-off header.
Yes, these are exactly the prefabricated hydronic kits that we supply. This is coming from our experience. It means a lot of people asking about what about the mixing bar? What about the pump? Which kind of pump are they used? You give them a lot of advices, a lot of indication, and in the end, many installers doing what they think is best for them. And we try to skip that problem if it's possible, supply them also the prefabricated and insulated kit, hydronic kit. and you need only to connect the distribution and connect that to the manifold. It's done.
So that has a motorized three-way mixing valve on it that you can use
Yes,
to adjust
yes.
the water temperature upward if somebody leaves a window open and the dew point drops.
Correct. That's okay.
Alternatives to just utilizing this as your heat. In other words, if a person is in a situation where their ambient temperature is such that it's capable of generating the water temperatures that they need, do you also provide a boiler package that could be tied with this air source heat pump?
And advise people. We are not able to supply that, but we know exactly if they need where they can go to have these heat pumps that are already sold in US. I can do advertise, but I say we can advise that people, give them information about the correct use of these heat pumps and where they can buy, how they can install, how they can commission. I say something, but we don't supply that machines in terms of liability.
The D unit with water, is that correct?
Supply the chill water, exactly the chill water that we produce. We supply the dehumidifier. The dehumidifier acts when needed by the control and use this chill water to pre-cool the air before to go to the inside. We have a refrigeration circuit inside, and then we pre-cool the air, makes the air more close to the saturation before to drop the air and the condensation into the machine.
Okay. And this unit sitting outside, it glycol, which you mentioned, and I believe yesterday you said that you're running typically 25% solution of propylene glycol.
Yeah, we supply also this glycol. It makes sense because it protects for years the system. You can check each year of the percentage of the glycol. You can also see only the fruit of the water, then it's easy. And you save, makes your system for many years without problems. It's a system that doesn't require the maintenance. The only maintenance that you require is in the heat pump. Then it's something that you could use for 20, 30 years without problem.
Okay. Let's see, one of our asked a question, whether you have any representatives here in the United States. Are you looking for dealers? Or are you at a...
Really, we have started here in California, mainly in the West Coast. I'm looking for whether is the channel to introduce the system. Sometimes could be a representative, sometimes could be a dealer, sometimes could be an agent. We don't have an exclusion first because we looking for people that believe in hydronics, believe in radiant, and believe in radiant heating and cooling. This is most important for us. It's able to show the potential, huge potentiality that is there. There are a lot of universities in US that are in research about radiant heating and cooling because cooling is the most important revolution for HVAC in the country too. And I think it's interesting to people that are in love with radiant systems, that love radiant heating, that they love also radiant cooling because it's exactly what they believe for many years.
There are some documented cases of where they went with radiant cooling, and we're seeing reductions in energy consumption of between 30 and 50%, which is pretty substantial. Now,
Yeah.
a person were to approach you with a set of blueprints, as a customer brought some blueprints to me, can I provide you with those blueprints, and will you do the process of design and specification of the panels required and the units that would be necessary to provide air ventilation and the humidification system based on our local climate?
Generally, I'm available to support any kind of situation. I'm available because I believe that in this country there are servers and the people able to show others that works. Absolutely.
Great. Well, looks like I got a pretty good package set up for this soul, which has really been kind of a with a lot of the systems that are out there, is you can get the panel, or you can get the chiller, or you can get the dehumidifier, or you can get the heat recovery, but nobody needs to be able to come to a complete package that basically allows them to do the whole job in a turnkey fashion, which I think is key to utilization of these products.
This is exactly the point. You have a complete system. You can be trustable. Is something in your system that you want to build, it's not fit with the other part of the system, and then your final result will not be exactly what you want. You want to provide the best comfort, the best indoor experience for the people. This is our experience of comfort. This is not temperature. Then we want to provide a fantastic sensation for the people that they breathe inside their home. That must be healthy, that must be fresh, that must be warm, that must be 60-degree comfortable. This is what we want to provide. And people like to have kind of final result. They require only temperature in terms of numbers for Fahrenheit.
That has been a problem before when I was using non-electric thermostatic radiator valves. And I had a whole condominium association that had never seen these before, and they're like, "Where's 70?" And it was sort of 5, and I'm like, "Just set it to 3.5 and you'll be fine, and don't turn it up and don't turn it down." So we had to have different training sessions with the same group, explain to them what it was, how the system worked, and once they realized how it worked, it was fine. But they were bringing their American mentality of degrees Fahrenheit and being able to turn the thermostat up and down and get an immediate reaction. Once I'm all trained, all of their problems and questions went away, and everybody was perfectly happy. But every time somebody new moves into one of these condominiums, they bring them back in and retrain them and show them how the systems work, and tell them, don't worry about degrees Fahrenheit. We're worried about your comfort. Set us for wherever you're comfortable, and then leave it alone. Don't turn it up and down. So, yeah, exactly what you say. Are you aware of any electric thermostatic radiator valves that can be used in cooling applications?
Not really. There are issues that you must solve address during the installation. You check or commit.
Sure was or not, and I know at the house that I have up in the mountains that I've got the potential of being able to do radiant cooling through that, except that I have non-electric thermostatic radiator valves connected to it, and I have to turn them all the way up in order to be able to get flow through that radiant cooling, and then with the rest of my electronic system. I have a person here. Rich, I'm going to go ahead and enable your microphone. I think you have some questions you would like to ask. Rich? Rich? Yes. Must be a microphone. I don't hear him talking.
If you want digit, maybe. Mark
still here.
Can he digit also in the heat.
I think maybe
present
wants to
and
talk
maybe-
to me afterwards, is what he was asking. He said have him a minute after.
Okay.
I will respond to him. He's actually on a number of our committees. So I'll disconnect the phone and ask our guests if anybody else has any questions for Domenico before we let him go.
What about, I guess I would question, what kind of delta T they run through that, both in the heating mode and in the cooling mode ceilings?
Good question.
Yeah, delta T in heating or in net outlet water is around Celsius a second, please. Second. Oh, this temperature. Okay, 30. Sorry, 30 Celsius. Well, I'm not prepared. I'm so sorry for that. 86. 1 second.
It's about it, isn't it?
35 is 95. In heating mode, we are around 9 to 10 for delta T, and in cooling mode, we are around 7, 6 delta T.
Thanks. Delta T. That's those infrared pictures, so it's just an even surface temperature across that panel. Bob, do the American Solar King solar panels? The one that had that copper waffle plate absorber in it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what his heat exchanger reminds me of, except that it's made out of aluminum. And that they typically test them to 6 bars and operate at around 3 bars. So it's perfect within the 30-pound limits that we have on most of our American boilers.
Yeah, it's a great system. Thanks for all the info.
Well, timing in, and I don't see any other questions that are popping up on the screen here. Let me scroll back up and make sure that I'm not missing anybody. Nope, Rich, one that was asking any questions, and none of them came in. So I'm going to do it out here. I'd like to thank again, Domenico, for your time and your team assembled this excellent presentation. And I thank our attendees for taking time out of their busy lives to come and listen to us. And if you have somebody that you would like to bring to the show, by all means, have them contact me and I will get them onto the schedule. I've got people that are interested in learning as much as they possibly can. Nice segue, our next guest next month is going to be Bob Rohr with Calepi. And they'll be coming in and talking to us about the newest addition to their product line, which is a water pre-treatment system, being able to fill these hydronic heating systems and avoid trashing your warranty with some of the nasty water that we've got available. You know, people think Michigan's bad. They should Commerce City, Colorado. I think that would be a great case study for your system, Bob.
Yes, exactly.
With that, nothing else to say. I would like to again thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come in and show us your product, and look forward to talking to you all next month. And you've got my telephone numbers and my emails. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Domenico.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.